But then we've talked about work and this.
Yeah.
The fact that we brought up Didi, there's something
Yeah.
else we have to talk about.
What?
Mental health.
Yeah. Are you saying Didi is crazy or what are you saying?
No, if you had followed
Because
last
you just
year.
said that and then you said
No, like last year.
Yeah.
He had a,
breakdown.
yeah,
Oh shit.
after he
Oh,
lost his
the
wife. And remember, it's the same time Cassie had just come out.
Ah, yeah.
It was literally
yeah,
the
yeah.
same
Yeah.
week almost.
And I think that's taking a lot from you. Because
It's
you
just
know,
that-
even at times, I know like maybe, I don't know about your situation, but I'm just saying, like from like their pictures with the baby mama, like when they were super, super young, you could see the love was so strong,
And it was still
man.
there.
It was. Even at times, maybe when you're not getting along and stuff, this is somebody you made a kid with and stuff, it's always going to be there.
Yeah.
Of course. And that sense of respect and everything. But once you're not expecting anything, or maybe you're even used to just fighting on the phone, these little fights
Just
that people
squabbles,
normally
yeah.
have, and then all of a sudden this person is taking away from you, like, phew, they're not there anymore.
Why I brought
Then
up
you're
Didi
like-
is because
Yeah.
for me, he's one person as an entrepreneur I've always followed.
And marketing?
You know?
Yeah.
So when he disappeared
Yeah.
from social media,
Yeah.
it was very evident. And I think I didn't notice about it until he came back on. And he had gone for a walk
Mm-hmm.
and he lost his car.
His car. Which one? Yeah, I'm sure he has a
Whichever.
lot. Yeah.
Whichever, he had lost it. And then
Yeah.
he was filming himself and then his battery was dying. And
Yeah.
there happened to be some guy from TMZ driving past who gave him a lift.
What?
And then he took an Uber. It was funny, but then in retrospect, you remember this is Didi.
This is Didi.
Then you realized, hey. Then I started looking at other posts.
Oh,
Kina, Russell Simmons.
yeah,
They
yeah.
started telling him, dude, just calm down.
Yeah.
It will be okay.
Yeah.
So it's only about a week
'Cause,
ago is
it
when
should
he came
have
out.
like a surefire, should have, but that means,
It's last
even
week
you
he
wouldn't
came
even
out
know
and
what
he
he had,
said
like,
he had gone through.
yeah,
People think you're a billionaire. You can't have like a
No.
breakdown, but he had
Yeah.
a breakdown.
yeah.
And then I started paying attention. My favorite cooking shows, my favorite chefs. I started notice. You know how you're watching a competition and you're rooting for a certain individual.
Yeah.
I started noticing that some of my favorite chefs would drop out of the competition, and they'd all say, "I'm not okay up here.
I'm going nuts.
I'm fighting my demons."
Yeah.
And everyone would say, "Fighting demons, fighting demons." And then I started looking at amongst ourselves. The other day, I saw some people bashing Anita Nderu. She came out with her post saying she had battled depression for a larger part of last year. It's like we don't talk about it.
And you see, that's why, like, I'm telling people, like, for me, the podcast, it's so important because when you listen or watch to someone talking about something, like on TV, when somebody's coming to TV, you have 15 minutes to do a
Yeah.
promo, sell what you want. Is it an event? Is it name? But do you talk to them? Do you ask them? Because when somebody is actually saying, like, when Anita Nderu is saying, like, she was going through depression, of course, everybody would be like, what?
Someone,
What?
I
You have
actually
this
saw-
job, you have
I-
this, you have this.
Exactly. I saw a comment. Someone actually told her, "Na hiyo pesa yote, we wacha zako." And you're just like, oh my God, if you could just explain.
Yeah.
During that period where I sold my car,
Mm-hmm.
I was literally thinking that I'm going insane.
Why?
Because you know what you're working towards.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
You're living in here.
Yeah.
You know what your worth is, you know what you can do, but situation around you is not aligning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the time if you
You feel like just a big. Did it make you?
it made me question a lot of things. Like, am I sure what I'm doing?
Oh, yeah. Because now you're like,
And if it's someone like me, I'm very independent and private.
yeah,
So
you're very private.
it's now
first
going to
of all.
start pushing you to opening up to people like, I may need assistance here.
Yeah.
And you might,
You
for
can
some
always
people,
call
it
me.
can come.
I'll take care of you.
For some people, it might come out easily.
No,
and for
yeah,
some
true.
others, it's not.
No, it's hard. Like, even for me, I never ask for help.
It's
You
so
would
hard.
meet me. Listen, I've just remembered by the way, there's sometimes I've been in other situations and someone's like, oh my God, you're doing this and this and this. I'm like, bro, listen, it's not what you think.
It's not what you see.
Plus, and even for me, I just try, like, even when I'm posting something on social media, I don't post anything that's too far-fetched from what
From
I'm
the
living.
reality.
Yeah, because you can easily disconnect. You can start living a lie. Sometimes when I'm posting money, it's because I'm about to post the rate card. So that's always telling the clients like, hey, listen, I just
your
got
money
paid this.
shots.
Yeah. So it's not always to show off. But you'll notice after that, I normally post like the rate card. But it's just like I've been in advertising.
Yeah.
Plus I follow rappers. That's what they do. So even some, they're talking about how like they're told by their managers, just flash it around and everything. But it's just playing around. But you'd notice I'm not serious when I'm,
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not there to make somebody else feel bad. But I understand how it can be misconstrued and then also be very difficult for you as a person to now, if you're used to being independent,
To come out
and say like, yo, I'm going through this shit.
But that's why I'm very open to the discussions about mental health now, physical mental health. I realized you really do have to talk to somebody at some point and unleash that thing.
Yeah.
And also just as we are doing what we're doing when we're pushing and striving for this, take care of your body.
Have a nice body. Is that, I'm not supposed to say that? I'm not supposed?
Thank you. But ideally...
I'm sorry, I'm playing.
Ideally, you'll notice...
Just getting you off
That's
guard.
what I'm saying, yeah? Ideally, you'll notice you get so focused, you don't eat. These things happen.
It's that whole balance we're talking about. You see that health,
so
wealth,
important.
love and happiness. It's so important. And even I'm always telling people I don't like fighting or quarreling. Because I'm in a place where it can drive me crazy.
Yeah.
Because I'm going through my own two little things. So the moment somebody starts shouting, I'm like, listen, I cannot do this. And then you just walk away from that situation. Because, a lot of people don't realize. Because when we were kids, imagine when you're slightly younger, when you see people on news like, this person has killed so-and-so, you're like, what? It took someone's life.
It's crazy.
This one just did this and this and this to this person, to the one person they loved. But when you grow up,
that's when
it's actually possible to kill someone.
Away from me,
it's
please.
actually possible. It is.
Walk away from me.
Because there's just that one thing that can come and really make you
snap.
Yeah, and make you snap.
Yeah.
And then even when you're being asked, you'll be like, I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Or you don't remember anything. So mental well-being, as you're talking about,
and especially I always say for creatives,
your mind is so important.
It's constantly working. We're constantly, even when you're just chilling, you're still working.
Remember,
you're editing in your head.
You're always thinking.
You're creating and editing, and you're constantly doing it.
And I remember, you see, what was the funniest thing? Remember when Floyd was doing his last fight with
last one I watched was
the
McGregor.
English, McGregor.
Uh-huh.
Before he went for the fight, remember there's a place where they were showing his shots, and then he was sleeping like a baby, and then there was this person who just massaging his, cause there's no such important thing as just your sanity. Because you remember all these things that McGregor kept on saying on his face, touching his head and doing it. So you just have to.
Yeah.
And even for him, he said a special thing he's always maintained in boxing is taking care of his just head.
Yeah.
And sanity. You won't see him talking crazy. You won't see him letting you bash his head or anything, because it's so important.
It is.
That's why even a lot of boxers just go crazy, put in temper, physical strength, and all those things. And plus now there's social media. Everybody's just trying to compete and show off. Do you ever succumb to that pressure?
Of?
Social media. What's going on social media? Maybe your peers are doing more than...
Not really.
Mm-hmm.
I like celebrating.
Even at once, it's never crossed your mind
When I was younger.
Mm-hmm. When you were younger, there was no Instagram.
No, there was.
There was?
Remember, oh my Lord.
When you were on Homeboys?
When we were Homeboys, I still remember when we were all called into a meeting to be told about this thing called Twitter. And everyone go and open Twitter account. And I was sitting there.
Yeah.
45. what am I going to write? And once they're like,
Yeah.
I think I should go back to my initial tweet. We all had to do it. We all had to be on Facebook, Twitter. I remember at that time, Instagram was only for iOS.
Oh yeah.
And I had an iPod. And so I could only use it where there was Wi-Fi. And I think I used to get like one like, because there was only another person.
Plus, there was no pressure then. There was no pressure. Even if you're getting 2 likes, you're good.
So I have had situations where I felt like I'm not doing enough.
Because I've always had it, but I had to learn to differentiate, to appreciate, and also understand that I can achieve this and get inspired. Yeah, appreciate and get inspired. Because you can look at a picture, and I think for most people who get stressed and, just go through all these breakdowns and stuff, is when they see somebody achieving A, B, C, and D, and then they're like, oh no, I wish I had that. But you forget that your journey is supposed to be different. Yeah. And that's why, like, even for me, I think even for the podcast, like, just the DMs I've just started getting, like, so many people, like, connecting to so many different things. Like, when I posted something to do with the, like, law students, I don't know whether, did you see that post?
Not yet.
It was about how KSL is, like, failing students intentionally to Nini. So I didn't expect it to have, like, a big reaction, because I shot it, like, a month ago. So I was just chilling on it. So I see NTV has done this story. I was like, this is a good time to post. So I post it. And you just see all these people who are really stressed out. They've done this thing for more than 7 years trying to achieve that. And then there's a guy who sent me a message. It's like, his friend tried to commit suicide because he had been failed so many times. And he just didn't know what else he's supposed to do.
So
he was like okay, by there, because what else am I supposed to do? This is the thing that I've invested so much time in my life, and I thought I was actually good at it. And what you guys are telling me is that this is not for you. After 7 years, where are they supposed to start off again?
And that's the thing.
And maybe on social media, you go on the flip side, maybe somebody who had some tunes, you see them in their graduation, they've just graduated, they are being bought for a car, like, yo, he passed, nini, we're celebrating, we're going to the Bahamas, we're going to nini. Yes, some people go all out, and then you're like, wow, like, even just the papers, I can't get it. And then I go figure this out.
One thing for me is my thing when it comes to social media, the way I portray what is happening with me. Like, I just did my first, like, IGTV introduction.
You did?
Yeah.
When?
I just posted it yesterday. I will share it with you. Yeah. And then you'll notice I'm in, like, a t-shirt. I'm just like
just t-shirts alone.
Cannot help you.
Sorry.
Have pants.
My apologies.
But the idea is, you know how initially when I was thinking about how I want to start my YouTube channel and I want to cook, and because of the other people I love from South Africa and from here and everywhere I look at, even abroad, it's such a production, and I'm like, oh, I have to reach out to a makeup artist. And I remember
I talked to you about, we had this conversation a long time ago. And I was like, just shoot, you'll figure it out.
Yeah, and then I realized, Sheila, when you're in the kitchen, I can tell you honestly, there are constants when I'm in the kitchen.
Yeah.
One thing is a TV or the laptop is on.
Always.
There's a show.
It's so you watch and at the same time?
It's either a cooking show or I'm catching up on a murder mystery, but there's always something, playing, if not
so
music.
That you can just...
Yeah, I'm still... there's times when something has to simmer for 5 minutes. I'm not just there staring at the wall. I'll be there like, following the movie, and then I continue. So one thing is that, and the other thing is sometimes there's like a glass of something, depending what time it is I'm cooking.
Yeah. So, I see that as well.
So now... But I wouldn't have done my makeup and
you're
so
just
I just
chill.
Still want to
but that's what people connect to. I think a lot of people miss that point. And even like for most there are some YouTubers, by the way, if you watch their videos, you're like, the lighting first of all.
That's where I'm telling you exactly what you're saying. And that's one of the reasons it was taking me so long to start. I had I used to watch them and I'm like, oh my Lord, I still haven't, I don't have that makeup. Oh my Lord, I don't have that background.
And that's why even like when you said you wanted to dispose the G7X, I was like, I don't know how I'm supposed to tell you. It's not a good idea, but
Yeah,
I was
you
those ones of
managed
like
to get it
I
through to
was
me.
those ones of like you even saw like I didn't
Yeah,
even
there you
I wasn't
asked.
like
Yeah, you put it as a by the way.
Yeah.
You didn't say it directly.
plus because like I sell camera stuff and
You're the one who
And,
advised me to
yeah.
go get it.
so if I wanted to sell it like
Yeah.
I'd have like already sent a rider there
Yeah.
and then. And I was like, I just hope she doesn't find a buyer and then even there's a friend of mine, I sold him like a G7X. He sent me a screenshot of your thingy. And then he's like, hey, you gave me a good deal. I was like, and then at that time I'm like,
Yeah,
Sheila,
I
don't
didn't.
do
I've
it.
kept it.
It's
I'm going
really
to use-
small, but
it's-
trust me, it's just one of those things that you'll come and appreciate. Like
even that first video, I love it, and I'm gonna keep at it. The thing
Yeah.
is, I have fallen for that, where
Yeah.
I'm looking at other channels and I'm thinking,
Mhm.
Jafika, oh my lord, what am I going to do? And then I start stressing myself,
Yeah.
and so I'm not creating the content yet. I have everything that I need,
And
here,
you're still coming up with
and the
other
equipment.
excuses.
But the excuses
Yeah.
are still coming, and they were coming with every other video I watched.
And you see, like even for me, what I normally tell people is like I'm always telling my friends that any person I see, they have a passion for this and that. They're like, hey, can you assist me with this? I'm like, yeah, I can. And I'll come do even a video for you for free. But you know what you have to do? Do your first 4 videos, and then on the 5th one, I'll come shoot
Yeah.
for you. Because then you've committed.
You've committed.
Because if I come and do it for you, and then you see how I'm shooting, setting up rigs, doing all these things, you think the hell do you think you'll even be encouraged at all to even do anything for yourself? Be like, all these other things, where do I get them? And even if you get them, you need to take time to study and understand how to use them.
Oh my God, keep learning,
Yeah.
keep studying.
It's tricky.
It's funny you should say that. One of the quotes I saw Juicy,
Mm-hmm.
and I loved it. Okay, it was on Chef's Table, and any creative in the food industry or
Yeah.
just any creative, you need to watch Chef's Table on Netflix. It's amazing. And this chef said, if you're an intern and you come to me and you give me 95%,
Yeah.
I might give you something, I might not, as a chef.
You see
But if
what
you come with 100%,
Yeah.
I'm giving you 150.
But that's true. Even the way you're saying it, that's why I'm saying like even for interns it's a bit
It's tricky.
It's very tricky. Because can you understand when you're doing like your job and then someone is next to you and you're also doing their job, and we've just talked about mental well-being right now. You see, and when I was a kid I could see adults doing this like I didn't know what that was. I was like, this guy by the way,
But then again, something interesting.
people driving you nuts.
But something interesting that I also saw,
Yeah.
this applies in a professional kitchen.
Yeah.
If an intern comes in,
Yeah.
and in that setting, you've been nurtured, you come up with an idea of a meal,
Yeah.
it belongs to the chef.
Oh.
And they
it's
tell
not-
you straight up,
That's
if
yeah.
I take this and I put it on my platform, it belongs to me.
So what do you get in return?
Nothing, you're an intern.
You hear that, interns?
It's like,
You
I
hear
was like,
that, interns? There are
be
people who are
afraid.
cruel out here. There are people who are cruel out
No,
here.
but
No, but
it-
it gives you the discipline. You also start understanding and taking things seriously. Now you start understanding. Now you start doing research on ownerships.
Yeah,
Those contracts you've talked about.
yeah.
Fine prints and everything. You start understanding all these different situations that you're getting yourself
Because
into.
it made me take a step back and think about menus.
Oh,
So when you see a
if you're
menu-
coming up with
So
Yeah.
you see, we always think that it's the executive chef who comes up with everything. No, sometimes a very delicious something,
yeah.
it was some intern somewhere, but because they're being trained under this person's leadership,
Hey,
it is now.
oh my.
And
my.
tell you,
Okay, when it comes to,
that's why I'm like, there's so much to learn.
because like even, and you see, all different fields have so much, and that's
Different
why when you
fields.
said, I don't know if we're talking about this off camera, when you said you have a meeting with a client and everything, you talk about stuff, and then they're like, hey, sini kupika tu, so it's just cooking.
It's just cooking.
This is how much you want us to include in your budget for a campaign. So you see, it's
But with clients, in those situations, you have to be able to recognize double speak. Hi, Sheila. you know what, we've seen your work, we love your work, we feel like it will align well with our brand.
Yeah.
You're exactly the kind of person we're looking for, and then we feel that you're the right fit, definitely. Okay, so here's my rate card. Sinikupika too. I'm sorry, what was that 10-minute speech about aligning with your brand? Being the right fit. It's like, it's so hilarious, and you learn.
Yeah.
Because also, if you look at it sometimes, not for all of the clients, but if you look at it sometimes, this person wants to please their own bosses by showing, I saved this amount of money from the budget. Yeah. And one of the first people they think they can cut off are creatives.
Listen, I hope you saw like Mutua's snippet. He was so like, he was like, this I'm addressing to the clients. And then it was just like on pointers.
I saw that.
Like 1, 2, 3, 4. I was like, second, you're lying.
They're lying to your face.
Then you give me your salary. Like he just hit the pointers where they are. And like so many creatives were like, yo, when is the episode coming out?
It's
when is
so
it coming
true.
out?
It's so true.
But I understood, like even for him, he explained and how he's structured and balancing family and everything. It was like, if I have 2 kids, bro.
Yeah.
And you're coming and you're approaching to me as a grown-up.
To Lilia for me.
No, to tell me that you don't have a budget. And the one job that you've been hired for with that company is budget.
Yeah.
You can't be trusted with anything. How is the company even having you represent them in that position? Because you don't know what you're doing.
I've reached that point where I learned, let's not waste time back and forth.
Yeah, there's no need for that.
I always just say, this is my rate card. Instead of you complaining it's too high or too whatever, just respond with what figure you want to give me.
Let's talk numbers though.
Numbers, just
because
numbers.
I understand, you see, when somebody's coming off like college and everything, you can have that conversation with them. It makes sense. You see, they're staying maybe at their mom's house. All they need is like just lose money for the weekend and everything. But if I have bills to pay, because for me, I'm always thinking like, hey, Connie, what do you think of me? That's always the first question, because I'm like, no, like, what do you seriously think of me? Because